Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Ask Dr. Bob. Once again, tremendous questions. I'm not even sure where some of you come up with these questions, but it's great. It says, Dr. Bob, sometimes I feel like I'm taking too many herbs. I went through a critical care stage when I knew it was necessary. Now I'm working on balancing different parts of my body. You know, I understand exactly where you're coming from. I take the minimal amount of products that I can, and I really focus on food. It's kind of that old Hippocrates saying, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. I take dandelion root every day. I also take peppermint leaf every day. I take American ginseng every day, and I also take some echinacea every day. And the reason that I do is we live in a very toxic environment. So I want you to think along those lines, because if you live in a toxic environment, and let's just cut to the chase, if you live in a toxic environment, your liver needs support. I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol, I don't eat sugar, I don't put anything artificial in my body that I'm aware of, because sometimes items can sneak in. So it depends. Like, I don't take an herb to help pick me up and bring me down. I take herbs that support function. So your goal is to get to the minimal amount that you could focus on your own and be healthy without having to take something to either speed you up, slow you down. I just recently did a program called the Health in the News, and we're talking about a herb that people are using to lose weight. You don't want to use herbs to speed your body up to lose weight. And I pray that makes a difference for whomever asks that. What is your general response to the recent findings of levels of arsenic in our rice supply? I'm concerned about that because, see, arsenic is really everywhere. So I did a little bit more research about rice, and from what I understand, rice really absorbs a lot of nutrients that are in the soil, and arsenic really is in a lot of areas that we consume. Apples, I would only eat organic apples because of the spray they put on apples. I'm more concerned about the arsenic from an apple because I eat a half an apple every day. Supposedly, by theory, anything organic really should not have any sprays added to it. So if you're going to do any kind of rice, I would consume organic rice cakes. I would, like, if you're going to go to a franchise restaurant, without naming any names, more than likely they're using the rice that they can get at the lowest cost. I can pretty much guarantee you it's not organic. And a really interesting question from someone asked me questions about stevia and natural sweeteners like honey and the thyroid gland and honey and glycogen and T4 and T3. And what I want you to know is this. You need iodine for optimal thyroid function. T4 becomes T3 in the body, and that pattern is interrupted if you have too much copper, low zinc, high estrogen, low progesterone. So I'm not saying that honey does or does not impact thyroid function, and I'm not saying that stevia does or does not. I don't really promote honey because it really is 95% sugar. And I really don't even use stevia. And I'm going to tell you right now, I would never use Truvia because Truvia is not really true stevia. So minimize your sugar consumption all the way around. But optimal thyroid function, it's really some important steps in there. So I don't want you to think that because your T4 and T3 are low, it's because of stevia or honey. It's a lot of information I think you're confusing yourself about. Iodine is important. A TSH, T3, and T4 assessment is also important. I'm going to share with this next nugget. I just learned it the other day, and I want to pass this information on to you. I have chill bumps just thinking about it. I had a young lady, very nice young lady, who cuts hair. She works in a beauty shop. She has a lot of stress. She's kind of like also managing this shop, and she came to see us because she had facial acne. And we really helped her acne. She was able to get off of dairy products, and she was eating a lot of gluten. She was really happy, but she was still having some flare-ups. So she came into our practice yesterday. She had this big old grin on her face. And I kind of looked at her, and she looked at me, and I mentioned a product that she had been taking that I also take because I've had other practice members get a good response with acne. It's A-emulsion. And I usually use 2 drops every day in my tongue, but she said it really wasn't that. She had purchased from our practice our toothpaste. We have toothpaste in our practice that has no fluorine in it. She was having facial acne where she was brushing her teeth because of the toothpaste. her facial acne went away in less than 2 weeks by changing toothpaste. So I want you to pass this on around the world, because it's possible that some kids and even adults can have acne on their face or skin lesions because of the toothpaste that they're consuming. So anything that's around this area, think about what you're putting on your body, even a beverage. So that was huge for me. And so acne itself, if you know someone has acne, back off on dairy. If somebody has chronic skin problems, they have a liver challenge going on in their body. I'm going to close with this one. This is a very interesting comment. Dr. Bob, I can't get rid of my nail fungus. Here's what I want you to understand. If you have fungus on your toenails or on your fingernails, it's not necessarily from the toes and the fingers that the fungus is at. It's really in your colon. So you could put all kinds of applications on your fingernails and toenails. It will not go away until you clean your colon up. And that means you want to minimize sugar, you want to minimize wheat products. We happen to use a product called ADP, which is emulsified oregano. Whatever you decide to use, which is awesome, you need to be very consistent with this because it's usually a colon problem. So I'd really appreciate if you could pass this video on, and especially one with that facial acne. We appreciate each and every one of you following us on Facebook, tweet and retweeting everything. We love it, and I'll talk to you next week.